Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a great Friday. My name is Jill Ondino. I am super excited. We're here for another Pelotonia live event, which has been a ton of fun for our staff to put together. And from all accounts, it seems like you all are really enjoying these. So today's is really special and different than the last 4 Pelotonia live events that we've done because we're going to get you to move. We are going to kick this off with a short conversation and then jump into a 30-minute yoga flow with Leah Westwater, who is a really great friend of Pelotonia. She rode for the first time last year. She owns Give Yoga, which is a really terrific yoga studio, actually 2 studios in Columbus. So we're going to kick it off with a conversation with her and our COO, Joe Apgar. And then right there, they'll jump into the yoga practice. So I would encourage you, if you have any questions for Leah, you can ask those at the bottom of the screen by clicking the Ask a Question tab, and they will do their best to answer those for you. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Leah and Joe up here on screen so we can get started. Hi, Leah. Hi, Joe.
Hey, thank you. I'm so excited.
Good afternoon.
Today we've got a yoga practice we're gonna do, and really just want to start this off with a quick conversation with Leah and just hear some of her story. You can see that I'm in my basement right now, surrounded by my 16-month-old daughter's toys, and I got my Pelotonia yoga mat out, so I'm ready to do this. Thank you so much for joining us today, Leah. This is such a treat to have you. You and I share a special bond. We're both young adult cancer survivors, and I think we were talking yesterday, and one of the things that COVID and the coronavirus has really brought on to a lot of people is anxiety and fear. And I think you and your yoga practice and your yoga studio have such an amazing focus on well-being and sort of just self-care, and would love to just hear a bit of your story. And I think we're all excited today to learn from you things we can do to cope with that anxiety and to cope with that fear, and to just take some time for ourselves and to care for ourselves.
Yeah, well, Joe, I'm just really grateful to be here and really honored to be a member of the Pelotonia community, and certainly to be invited to share today. And yeah, like you, I received a cancer diagnosis young. I was 24, and it does really relate to the situation right now with COVID-19 in so many ways. And one way that is really identified is what a disruption it is to your life as you know it, and to receive a diagnosis, and one that you know is going to be a long road. There's no quick fix. There's no easy solution. It's going to be, in a way, an uphill battle or an uphill ride, and it's really just about taking it one step, one breath at a time.
I love it. I love it. So, one of the things we've heard a lot of questions about, and would love for you to just sort of share, is, meditation has become a big thing, and it's become a big topic recently, and just sort of the meditation part of yoga and how you think about that. I'm curious if you have advice for people that have never done it before or are nervous about trying it. Like, what do you suggest to people that want to start a yoga practice or start meditation?
Yeah, absolutely. Meditation and yoga, it's like anything else you might want to do, such as signing up for the Pelotonia Rider, or really training for anything. It's like you just kind of do the thing. When the alarm goes off, you get up, and it's a training regimen, and you start off slowly. You start off exactly from where you are. It's not about where you want to be or where you think you should be. It's about starting from exactly where you are, beginning slowly, and building strength, building endurance over time. And really, it's all about practice. So yoga and meditation, like anything else, it's a lifelong practice. It's something that, you know, you can turn to every single day. You don't need a whole lot to just really dive in. You know, it's about sitting, it's about breathing. The yoga practice is just your body moving in space. And I think really one thing that really resonates with me is that, you know, you're always practicing something. You might be practicing some days being on your phone, being really worried, fearful about what's going on right now in the world. And you always have an opportunity to shift and get really present and start to just practice, yeah, being present with the people that are in front of you. People aren't born more present than someone else or more grateful than anyone else. It's a skill, just like everything that's practiced and honed over time.
I love it. I love it. Well, with that, let's get into the practice, and you're going to lead us through a 25 or 30-minute practice here. And I am. We've got over 100 people now on Crowdcast. I know we have more on our Rise site and Facebook Live as well. So we've got a really good group of people, and I'm hoping that Jill's going to turn off my camera so no one has to see me trying to attempt these yoga poses over the next 30 minutes.
It's awesome. Thank you so much, Joe. And thank you guys all for being here, for being willing to just experience this with me and the Pelotonia community. I have a demo body here with me. His name is Brian. He happens to be my husband and also a fellow yoga teacher. So Brian. So we hope that, you know, by being able to see Brian, you it will just support your practice. And if you have any questions, you can pop them in the chat. And yeah, just always feel free to do this always at your own pace. You know, this is about you having a moment, prioritizing your physical, mental, emotional well-being. Yeah, because you guys matter. You really matter, and you matter to a lot of people. And we're in this environment. You guys are actually in our bedroom. So welcome. I hope you like it. And, you know, we have 2 kids and we have a dog. So at any point, our life may come into the room. And this practice is not about tuning out the world around us. It's about really just waking up to it, letting it all be here, however it is. So with that, you'll just start from where you are. If you have a mat, great. If not, don't worry about it. And we'll begin in child's pose. And so you'll take your knees to the outside edges of the mat and your big toes together. And then you'll just walk the arms forward and let the chest drop between the thighs. If your forehead touches the ground, great. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. And you can, you know, bring the knees in a little closer together if that's more comfortable for you. And from right here, just give yourself permission to be here, to just be imperfect, perfectly imperfect, just in your practice, in your breath, in your body. Take a few deep breaths. And so in human condition, our minds are often, you know, wandering and bouncing to the past, ruminating about the past, and then jumping forward into the future. And this practice, yoga and meditation, is ultimately about training the mind and bringing yourself back into center. So connect with your breath right here. And notice just your whole being, your whole life, your whole body is here, your breath is here, your mind, your heart, and just let it all be here. And then just start to walk your fingertips forward, maybe massaging the forehead by rocking the head from side to side. Notice any tension there might be in the jaw. Soften there, soften the eyes. Good, and then come forward to your hands and knees. And you'll tuck your toes underneath your heels, and you'll lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. And so Brian here is a really good model. He's a very active, dedicated yogi. Yeah, and so I'm excited to just have him here supporting you. And you know, you want to be pressing your heels towards the floor, but even with Brian's experience, his heels don't quite reach, and they may never, and that's okay. So you're just looking to root the feet into the floor, root the hands into the floor. Find a little more length through the spine by lifting the tailbone up. And then just let the head hang heavy. So no tension in the jaw, the neck. And soften the knees. Yeah, soften the knees. Good. And then start to walk your hands backwards towards your feet. Good. And then notice the feet. So see them on 12 o'clock and take them out wide. So wider than hips width distance, maybe towards the outside edges of the mat if you had one. And bend your knees a lot and just let your spine hang forward. Drop the head. Yeah, and then clasp opposite, palm to opposite elbow. So you're in a ragdoll position. Good, and here just lift your toes up, lift and spread the toes and press down through the balls of the feet, your heels. Good, and rock the weight forward and back. So you're coming out of center as you rock forward or back, side to side, and then noticing when you land back, yeah, at center. And take a few more breaths here, just letting the head go. Notice any tension in the cheeks, the eyes, soften there. Good. And then come to a halfway lift, and you'll press your palms into your shins, and your spine will come parallel to the floor. From here, you'll draw your low belly in and up towards your spine, and then interlace your hands at your low back. Reach your knuckles straight back, crown of your head forward. Yes, you're squeezing the shoulder blades in towards your spine, and then fold forward, soften the knees. Let the head drop. Do a nice grip with the hands, pressing the heels of the hands together, pulling them apart. Good, Brian's really breathing here, big open breath. Good, and then release the hands. And walk the palms all the way forward. So you'll come to a high plank, a high push-up posture. And from here, your heels are stacked over the balls of your feet. The crown is reaching forward, your tailbone reaching towards your heels. So you're coming into center, into the core, and then you set your gaze, your eyes. So from a wandering mind, the monkey mind, as we call it, using the eyes to come into presence, to come into center. Choose one spot, softly gazing. You can take a few more deep breaths. Soften the elbows, melt the upper back. You can always drop your knees. Take one more deep breath in and then lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And then look forward up towards the top of your mat and take a walk all the way forward. And when you arrive, take a halfway lift, breathing in, spine parallel to the floor. And then fold over the legs. We'll take two more of these. Inhale to lift halfway up, breathe in, heart forward. Exhale, fold in, hug in, squeeze the air out. Good, one more. Inhale. Exhale, fold in. And now press into your feet, stand all the way up. You'll reach the arms up, stand tall. Sweep the fingertips up towards the ceiling and then bring the hands to heart center. Just pause here, dropping the shoulders. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then lift your arms up to the sky, breathe in. On your exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Soft bend in the knees. Good. Halfway lift, breathe in, heart forward. Step back, high plank pose. Good. Take a deep breath in. Let it all go. On your inhale, shift forward to the balls of your feet and then lower down to the ground or through chaturanga, your choice. And then upward facing dog or a low cobra from the ground, just opening up through the chest. Good. And downward facing dog. And you'll take a deep breath in here. Maybe spread the hands and feet, the length of the downward facing dog, make it longer, wider side to side. You can just keep coming back to your breath, your hands, your feet, your core coming into neutral. On your next inhale, lift your heels high. On your exhale, bend your knees, look forward, take 2 big steps, top of the mat. Halfway lift, lengthen. Forward, fold, hug in, and bow. On your inhale, rise all the way up, reach the fingertips, high to the sky. Hands to heart center, pause the breath. Inhale to reach up, doing great, Brian. Exhale, forward folds. Take a halfway lift here, heart forward, high to low plank. You can always drop your knees, modify as you need. Upward facing dog. Good, and downward facing dog. We'll just take a deep inhale here, a big exhale out, let it all go. And then lift your heels really high, breathe all the way in, bend your knees, look forward, step forward, jump, Brian. Nice, halfway lift, breathe in, forward fold, breathe out, and then sit back into chair pose, Utkatasana. I was teasing Joe yesterday that we could spend 10 minutes in this pose, just sweating, breathing, pausing, enjoying the heat. Yeah, so even when it's hard, just practicing acceptance. Yeah, the weight back into your heels. See if you can drop the pelvis a little bit lower. So you're building strength from the pelvis down, building strength, and then from the pelvis up, yeah, finding some space, some opening, settle the eyes. We'll just take 2 more breaths. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. Good, 1 more. Deep inhale, ribs to thighs, forward fold. Halfway lift, breathing in. Chaturanga Dandasana, vinyasa, to upward. Good, and then to downward facing dog. Getting a little warm, building some heat. Bring the big toes to touch together at the back of the mat and just see them. Lift them up as you melt the heels further down towards the ground, getting a big opening through the backs of the legs. Good, and then lift the right leg straight up to the sky. Take a deep inhale. On your exhale, step right foot to right thumb, come to warrior 1. Good, so Brian's got his front thigh parallel with the floor, something to try on, something, yeah, to just get the pelvis nice and low, get a deep opening here, press the back heel into the floor and lift the inner arch. Yeah, and then lift up and out of the pelvis, so you're creating some space. Good, take 1 more deep breath in, and then you'll open up to warrior 2. So the hips open up. Good, and you're reaching the fingertips away from one another, but you also want to think of drawing in towards center. So the shoulder blades are drawing in towards the spine. Brian's elbows are nice and soft. We're always looking for where, or control overtakes ease. We want to be strong and relaxed in our practice, in our life. Flip the front palm, reverse your warrior, reach up and back. Good, breathe in to both sides of the body. Take 1 more inhale, and then you'll take your palms to the ground and float high to low plank to upward facing dog. Good, and downward facing dog. A few breaths here, and then you'll bring your big toes to touch. And soften the knees, lift the toes up, melt the heels towards the ground, and then take the left leg up to the ceiling. Good. Press the palms down and forward. Draw your belly button to your spine. Take one more deep breath in, and then step to warrior one. On your inhale, you come rising up. Good. Nice and open through the chest, shoulders back and down. Nothing in the face, yeah, except a smile. Smiles are good. Yeah, but not furrowed brows or clenched jaws. You just want to notice when you're holding that tension and really actively let it go. Okay, and then warrior two on an exhale. Give yourself a moment to set up this shape, explore the shape that your body's in. And then some time to just breathe and feel the strength, the power in the legs, lifting through the crown of the head. And then some freedom here. Flip the front palm, reverse your warrior, reach up and back. Good, lift up towards the ceiling. Yeah, take a deep inhale. And then palms to the ground, vinyasa. And upward facing dog, maybe look up, finding a little more space, throat, the chest. Good, and then downward facing dog. Really nice, deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then we'll take the right leg up again. So right leg goes up towards the ceiling. Give yourself a moment, to feel the length, the extension through the right heel. And then step your right foot to your right thumb for a low lunge. And you'll drop the back knee down, untuck the toes, and sweep the arms up overhead. Good, so your front knee stacked right over the ankle. Ground the ball of the foot, ground the heel. And then hook the thumbs overhead so your palms face forward. Spread through your fingertips. And you'll use this traction, soften the elbows to draw your shoulders onto your back and get a little bit of lift through the center of the chest. Good, deep breathing here. Belly to spine. On an exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Good, draw your shoulders back. And then twist. So you'll take your left elbow to the outside of your front thigh. And smile at the camera and rotate your heart towards your thumbs by pressing into your hands. Good, and pull the belly away from the front thigh. Keep lengthening the tailbone. Brian will look up beyond his shoulder, just taking the twist all the way. His whole spine twisting, rinsing. Really good. And then maybe tuck the toes. You can tuck the back toes, come to the ball of the foot and lift the back knee up. Good. And then coming to center, reach the arms up. You're in a high crescent position, high crescent warrior. And then opening up to warrior two, ground the back heel flat, extend the arms. So good. Reverse your warrior, reach up and back. And from here, straighten the front leg for triangle pose. Before you reach forward, lengthen your tailbone towards your back heel. And then start to take the right arm forward, the spine, the torso over the front leg, and drop the right arm towards the floor or onto the shin. Yeah, and then it's a twist. So you're lifting the chest up towards the ceiling. Good, breathe here. And instead of having the action of your heels moving away from one another and like an extension, think of hugging into center. Yeah, and from hugging into center, you'll get more opportunity, more availability to open up into this shape. Okay, and then come back to warrior two, soften the front knee. We'll find some space, reverse the warrior one more time. And then vinyasa, hands to the floor, step the right foot back to meet the left. You'll move through upward facing dog, plant the tops of the feet, lift the thighs up, downward facing dog. Good, and a deep breath in Deep breath out. Good, left leg up. Breathe in, reach the heel, the ball of the foot, and then step to thumb. Low lunge and drop the back knee down, sweep the arms up. Hook the thumbs overhead, take the opposite grip. Good, lifting the chest, pelvis forward, so you're gonna open through the front of the right hip. Still actively rooting through the left heel. You're not being in any hurry to, move on to the next thing or get through this, but actually just being right here, one breath at a time. What kind of space can you find? And then hands to heart center and take your twist. Draw the shoulders onto your back. Good, low belly into the spine. Strong and relaxed here. So twisting, rinsing, rotating. Good, finding new space, looking up beyond the shoulder. Maybe tucking the back toes, lift the back knee up, coming into, a more strengthening variation of the posture. Good, crown reaching forward and then sweep the arms up, high crescent, opening up to warrior two. Good, as much as you can, as much as you have space for, dropping the front femur bone down parallel towards the ground and the front knee stacking over the ankle. And have the sensation that your inner thighs are spiraling away from one another. Reverse your warrior, reach up and back. Straighten the front leg, triangle pose, Trikonasana. And so really through the yoga practice, we're defying nature over time with practice, getting stronger instead of shorter and shoulders hunching and getting closer to the ground. We get longer, taller, more flexible, more open with time. Defying nature, defying gravity. Have we been here long enough? Okay, warrior two, soften the front knee, reverse the warrior, reach up and back. And then palms to the ground, take your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Moving with your breath. Good, maybe a little movement in downward facing dog is calling to you, or just stillness, just a pause, a grounding. Good. And then lift the heels up to the sky, bend the knees, look forward, and you'll step or float to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. And come all the way up to standing. Reach up to the sky. Good, and bring the hands to heart center. And just let your feet come apart. If they're right next to each other, give them a little bit of space, about hips width. And then invite the eyes to close, just softening the shoulders. Good, Tadasana, mountain pose. Just be, just stable in your mountain pose. Performing, not needing to be anywhere different or anything different, but just really free with who you are in this moment. And then we'll take an eagle pose. So, thank you, Brian, that's good. So you can start, why don't we start in chair pose, a little bend in the knees, building some strength, and then you'll take your right arm, you'll sweep it underneath your left, crossing at the elbows and the wrists, pressing the palms together. Good. And then the right leg will sweep up and over the left leg. So you can use the right foot as a kickstand. Or you can work to wrap it, the foot or behind the calf. And you're squeezing your two legs into one here, drawing the shoulders back. See if you can get your shoulders stacked over your pelvis so your spine is straight and long. Good to breathe here. Breathing deep and free. And then sweep up and out. stand all the way up, extend. Good. And then Tadasana, arms along the sides. And sit back into chair, Utkatasana, sweep the arms up. And this time take the left arm under the right, eagle pose. And then left leg up and over. And really focusing here on balancing effort and ease. Notice where you struggle or where you grip or just really want to control or muscle into the pose. And instead of doing that, can you soften, engage with the breath a bit more, focus the eyes. Good. And on an inhale, come sweeping up and out, extended mountain pose. And back to Tadasana, your mountain pose. And then we'll take a tree pose. So a left foot on ground, right foot to the inner thigh or the calf. You're just looking for, not the knee. You can also kickstand in this pose too. And then, Brian brings his hands to heart center. And so the action here is, drawing the right side and the left side of the body towards center. The center is your spine line. Opening the chest up in towards your thumbs. Coming into neutral, and then maybe extending the arms. Unless maybe you're in a basement and you don't have room, but you can actually just reach up, and maybe use the ceiling, to support your extension, to support your pose. Like nothing's in the way. Whatever path you're on, this is your path. And not needing it to be different. Okay, and then we'll switch sides, right foot down. You can pause for a moment. And then left foot to the inner thigh. And from the lower half rooting into the ground. Really strong, really anchored. And then the upper half, free, open. Connect with your gaze, connect with your breath. And then extend the pose. How you feel called and inspired to grow, to move. Okay, good. Tadasana, release. And then let's take a malasana pose. So you'll take the feet out wide, and then your right toes will point like 2 o'clock, the left toe is like 10 o'clock, and then you sit the pelvis low, bring the elbows to the inner thighs, hands to heart. And starting with the feet here, you'll lift and spread your toes, lift the inner arches. So there's an action of pressing down and then using the energy to come up through the legs. And press the elbows into the legs back into the elbows. Use that connection to open the chest, draw the shoulders back. As the tailbone is sinking down towards the ground and the crown of the head is lifting up towards the sky. Good, a few more breaths. Just get it a little uncomfortable, breathe with it. Good, and then hands to the floor, just lift the hips up to the sky, straighten the legs. Rock from side to side, let it all go. Good. And then go ahead and come to the top of your mat if you're not already there. Toe heel your feet together. And just stand all the way up. And you'll reach your arms up to the sky. Take a deep inhale. And then fold over the leg. Exhale. Reach the heart forward. Halfway lift, breathe in. Take a vinyasa, high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. A few rounds of breath here. Spread your fingers, spread your toes. Maybe open up the mouth really wide, stick out the tongue, releasing the jaw like. Just let it go. Good. And then come to high plank pose. Good. Tailbone nice and long towards the heels, belly in, soften the upper back. And then you'll slowly lower all the way to the ground for maybe a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yep. And just lower it down. And rest one cheek to one side. Extend the arms back behind you, palms face up towards your ceiling. Good. Maybe wiggle the hips from side to side, letting go of any tension. Good. See just how much you can surrender here. When you feel like you've let go just a little bit more. And go ahead and switch cheeks, opposite cheek rests on the mat. And then bring your forehead to the mat. And flip the hands so your palms are now facing down, pinkies in towards one another. And you'll start to lift the forehead off the mat, lift the chest up. And then float the hands off of the mat. So you're drawing the shoulder blades towards center. Pull your belly button off of the mat. So you're pressing the pelvis, the bones of the pelvis into the floor. Good. And then from here, maybe float the legs, the knees, the thighs. And you're in locust pose. Yeah, and the crown of the head is reaching forward, and there's energy reaching back through the heels, getting you nice and long. Good. Take a deep breath in, and then let it all go. Wiggle the hips from side to side. We'll go right into one more. You can take that same variation or interlace the hands at the low back. Yeah, so you'd grab, pulling the heels of the hands towards one another, and then same thing, lift the forehead, lift the chest, shoulder blades into the spine. Draw the low belly up, pelvis rooting down, and then float the feet, float the legs. Good, really powerfully rising from the floor, from rooting down, from pressing down into the ground, a lifting up and up. Yes, Brian, looks good. Bigger, bigger, go bigger. Press down, go up, press down, go up. So good. Okay, release, let it go. Just bend the knees and windshield wiper the legs from side to side. Good. And then forehead to the mat. Plant the palms, thumbs towards the lowest ribs with the elbows bent. Before you go anywhere, think of drawing the elbows towards center, shoulder blades towards center. Plant the tops of the feet on the floor. Good. And then start to lift the chest up to upward facing dog. And yeah, Brian's already, by pressing down into the tops of the feet, he's got his thighs lifted up. And the action here is pulling the heels of the hands towards the pelvis to open up the chest, lift through the crown of the head. Now bring awareness to the low belly, the core. Pull through that space, hug in to downward facing dog. So draw the navel to center. Really nice. So good. And then simply bend the knees, cross the ankles, and you'll make your way to Navasana, a boat pose. So you might want to remove flesh so that your sitting bones can root into the floor. Yeah, and then the shins are parallel with the floor, thighs into the chest, can support the backs of the legs with the hands, flexing the feet back. Yeah, if all is well, then the arms can reach forward, palms face up. Yeah, you're just building from wherever you are. Brian's shaking, he's breathing. He's smiling though, he's shaking and breathing and in boat pose and smiling, lifting the chest. Yeah, you want to feel the pinching in the hip flexor. So see if you can bring your thighs a little closer to the chest. So good. And now catch the backs of your thighs and just rock and roll forward and backwards. And have fun with this. Yeah, maybe cross the ankles, plant the hands, kick the butt up towards the ceiling. What? Yeah. Okay. And then a vinyasa. Yeah. And then we'll just go back to the back. You'll rock and roll. Just massage the whole spine, the space between the shoulder blades, the back of the neck. Yeah. Bring joy to the movement. Like there's a movement behind your movement. Yeah, I love that. Like a movement behind the movement. Good. And then we'll meet on our backs. So just lie back down. Bring the feet to the floor. Hips width distance. And you just walk the feet back a little bit so the ankles are underneath the knees and tail reaches towards the heels and press into the ground. Lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Really good. Just breathing here. Yeah, Brian interlaced his hands. He's pressing his triceps into the floor, the back of his head into the floor, his feet into the floor. And if you soften just a little bit, lower the hips maybe an inch, yeah, and then press more through the feet. Engage more through the legs. Really well done. Good. And then gently release this. Hug your knees into your chest. And a happy baby pose. So you'll catch the pinky toe edges of your feet. And so you're reaching your tailbone, your sacrum flat on the ground. Tailbone reaches down towards the ground. And then draw the shoulders towards the ground as you pull your thighs towards the floor. Nice and long through the back of the neck, maybe tucking the chin slightly. You can, yeah, rock from side to side. He's almost rolling all the way over. And then extend the legs up towards the ceiling. Take the right ankle to the left thigh for figure 4. It's just a supine hip opener. It doesn't have to be, yeah, so intense. And you can extend the left leg up to the ceiling. Interlace the hands through that little window of the legs. Reach for the hamstrings. And so Brian's using his right elbow to press the right leg away. Get a little deeper opening. You can drop the left heel down. Let it be relaxed here. So the shoulders are dropping. Chin is tucked. You're just being, yeah, in the present moment, right here where your life is occurring. It's not occurring anywhere else, but right here, right now. Good. And then release and lift the legs up to the ceiling and switch sides. So left ankle to right thigh. Keep the feet nice and flexed. Yeah, interlace the hands. Reach for the hamstrings. You can, yeah, keep the right leg extended or bend the knee. Wherever you go, drop the shoulders. Maybe invite the eyes to close, just drawing inward. And just coming into a space of neutrality that really all is well. Whatever challenges, whatever emotions are present, you know, just letting it all be here. Good, and then extend both legs up. Hug the knees into the chest. And then we'll take Shavasana, just lying on your backs. Extend the legs forward. Tuck the shoulder blades underneath the heart. So yeah, you're supported. Palms fit, take up space. An opportunity here for just some deep rest. Just letting yourself be heavy. No effort, nothing you need to do. And nothing needing to change or be different. And notice any sounds that are in your environment. And just be with the practice of letting them be there, letting them be part of your experience without needing to attach any story or alter the environment. But yeah, but just this is just perfect right here. Soften a little bit more. And take a deep inhale and let the breath go. Take the arms up overhead. Take a full body stretch and hug your knees into your chest. Go ahead and roll over to your right side. Just pausing for a moment. And gently press up to a seat. And you'll keep your eyes closed, yeah, and just trust that wherever you land is perfect. You sit tall, awake, and not rigid, but just powerfully rooted, seated, and bring the hands to heart center. Drop the shoulders back and down. Really just honor yourself for showing up, for participating. And not only here, but in your whole life, the way that you contribute, it really makes a difference. And it wouldn't be the same without you. So keep up the great work. Draw your thumb knuckles to your forehead center. Touch in. And together we bow. Namaste.
That was amazing.
You don't look that sweaty.
No, I'm feeling proud to take a layer off. I'm feeling pretty sweaty. Thank you to you both. Brian is amazing at yoga, by the way. I think I
He
can
is
probably
amazing
for everyone.
at yoga.
We're impressed. This was a perfect way to go into the weekend. This is, I think, exactly what everybody was hoping it was going to be, and I think exactly what everyone needed. We are sort of on behalf of the entire Pelotonia community. Thank you. We're so grateful to have you both as part of our community. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. This was a perfect way to roll into the weekend. We hope everyone is staying safe, spending a little extra time with their loved ones, and look forward to our next Pelotonia Live coming soon. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Stay healthy, everybody.